It's 11:47 p.m. You tell yourself you'll scroll for 5 more minutes. 40 minutes later, you're still awake. But here's the question, is it the content keeping you up, or is it the light itself changing your brain chemistry? To understand how screens affect your sleep, we need to start with something called your circadian rhythm, your internal 24-hour biological clock.
Welcome to SciCuriousID, where curiosity meets science.
This clock is regulated by a small cluster of neurons in your brain known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. It sits in the hypothalamus and acts as your master timekeeper. Your SCN responds primarily to light. During the day, light signals travel from specialized cells in your retina, called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, directly to the SCN. This tells your brain, stay alert, stay awake, stay active. At night, darkness should trigger the opposite effect. Your brain releases melatonin, a hormone that prepares your body for sleep. But screens change this equation. Smartphones, tablets, laptops, and LED lighting emit high amounts of short-wavelength blue light, typically in the 460 to 480 nanometer range. This wavelength is particularly powerful at suppressing melatonin. In fact, research from Harvard Medical School found that blue light suppresses melatonin nearly twice as long as green light, and shifts circadian rhythms more dramatically. The biological mechanism is straightforward. Blue light activates those retinal ganglion cells. They signal the SCN. The SCN suppresses melatonin production in the pineal gland. Your body interprets this as daytime, even if it's well past midnight. A landmark study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences examined participants reading light-emitting e-readers before bed. Compared to reading printed books, the e-reader group had reduced evening sleepiness and delayed melatonin release. They took longer to fall asleep and experienced less REM sleep. That last part matters more than you might think. REM sleep plays a crucial role in memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and cognitive integration. Reducing REM sleep doesn't just make you feel tired, it may impair how your brain processes information the next day. But light is only half the story of sleep disruption. Screens don't just emit photons. They deliver stimulation. Social media notifications, fast-cut videos, emotionally charged content, these activate the brain's reward circuitry. Dopamine release increases. Cortical arousal rises. Your prefrontal cortex remains engaged. Sleep requires a gradual reduction in neural activation. Instead, your brain stays in a state of alertness. Even passive scrolling can prolong something called sleep latency, the time it takes to fall asleep. According to the National Sleep Foundation, consistent evening screen use is associated with later bedtimes and shorter total sleep duration. Over time, this can lead to circadian phase delay. Imagine your internal clock shifting later and later. You don't feel sleepy at 10 p.m. anymore. Maybe not even at midnight. But your alarm still rings at 6 a.m. Time to wake up. Chronic sleep restriction accumulates. Cognitive performance drops. Mood regulation worsens. Reaction time slows. And here's something important, blue light filters and night mode settings may reduce exposure, but they do not eliminate the stimulating cognitive component. The brain doesn't only respond to light. It responds to engagement. It stays active when it should be resting. So what actually helps? It starts with mindful habits. First, reducing screen exposure 1 to 2 hours before bed significantly lowers melatonin suppression. Second, dim ambient lighting in the evening supports the natural rise of sleep hormones. Third, maintaining consistent sleep and wake time stabilizes your circadian rhythm. This isn't about demonizing technology. Tech is part of our lives. It's about understanding that your brain evolved in a world where sunset meant darkness, not an illuminated rectangle. Your biology hasn't caught up with your devices. So tonight, when you reach for your phone in bed, ask yourself, Are you choosing 5 more minutes of scrolling or 5 fewer hours of optimal brain function tomorrow? And here's something to consider. If screens disappeared after 9 p.m. for a week, how do you think your sleep would change?
Thanks for watching SciCuriousID. Until next time.